Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body
Hello. You are now tuned in to the A Little Bit A Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen. Welcome back to another great week. Oh my gosh, how are you guys doing? This week has been amazing. Like, I am feeling rejuvenated because last week, I had my cold, but your girl is recovering. Make sure my microphone is good. But yeah, your girl is recovering. And I feel like pretty much like 95% better. I wouldn't even say 95. I would say like 98% better. So that's good. Like I already talked about last week, Thanksgiving was lit. And I mentioned on last week's episode that I wanted to talk about the Renaissance film. So we are going to jump straight into it. You've already seen the title. We are talking about the Renaissance film by Beyonce, written by Beyonce, directed by Beyonce. Oh my God, it was an experience. I repeat, it was an experience. Like, I already thought that seeing it live at the Ford Field was just like super gaggy and had me literally astral projecting into the ceiling as it was. But when you see the film, you just get to see so many different things that you missed, So let's get straight into it. But before that, you already know at the top of the episode, I gotta let you guys know to like this video. We really need to bring up our likes on my videos. So show your girl some love and go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. You feel me? And make sure you comment to let me know. Did you see the Renaissance film? What were your thoughts? What were your favorite parts about it? I'm really curious to see what everybody thought about it. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing some great feedback on TikTok, but I want to be tapped in with my audience. Are there any other Beehive members out there who watch my podcast? And of course, make sure you subscribe. I'm on the road to my first 100 subscribers on YouTube. You guys are killing it, showing me support. I appreciate that. And if you're listening on Spotify, thank you. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on Spotify. There's a follow button when you go to my podcast page. Click that button so that way you're keeping up to date with all new episodes. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, make sure you rate me 5 stars on the Spotify app. And of course, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, shout out to you. Make sure you go ahead and rate me 5 stars on there, as well as leave a review. Last week, I read some of the reviews, so if you haven't catch that, make sure you tune into that episode. I appreciate all the love that you guys have given me. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. The Renaissance film was such an experience. I was so glad that I got to go with my sister because we went to go see the concert together in July as well. So it was only right that we went to go see the movie together. And oh my God, like, first of all, I didn't go to see it at AMC. Like, I know that Beyonce had it with AMC, but I went to a different movie theater. And at this movie theater, they have like this little text line where you can text anytime between like 8 a.m. and like 8 p.m. or something like that. So I texted them and said, hey, are you guys going to have anything, for the Renaissance tour? Because I saw that they had like the popcorn buckets, they had the cups and stuff like that. So I'm just like, girl, like I want to make sure I'm not missing out on this opportunity to get some more merch, because the closest AMC to me is like almost an hour away. I didn't feel like having to do all that. You know what I mean? I wanted to go to the movie theater that was closer to me. They texted me back and said, yes, we're going to have some, popcorn, tubs, as well as the cups. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm not going to be missing out on anything like, the other girlies are, doing. So I text them and they said they were going to have it. So when we went to the movie theater, me and my sister made sure that we got I was going to get the popcorn bucket, but then I thought about it and I'm like, dang, that's $22. Like, plus I don't even eat popcorn that much at home. So it's like, what do I really need this for? I just really had to make like a big economical choice right there. So I did decide to get just the cup. If you follow me on Instagram at A Little Bit A Lot podcast, the real girlies know that I had the cup because I was like posting live updates on a Friday, you know, before I went to the movies and when I was at the movies. So yeah, both me and my sister got our cherry ices in our Renaissance cup. And then you already know I had to get my garlic Parmesan pretzels with the pizza sauce, period. That's my favorite snack to get at the movies. I'm a pretzel girl down. So yeah, and then we went to our seats. We had those recliners, those comfy recliners, and we got into it. And oh my God, like I even made sure that we got there early because I normally when we get to the movies, we're kind of like always cut it close. For some reason, like my time management is really poor when it comes to that. But we had to go to Bath and Body Works like before anyway because they had the annual candle day. So by the time we got to Bath and Body Works, the show started at 7. We got there at Bath and Body Works at 5:50. Then we left, we shopped, and then left, and then got to the movie theater at 6:30. I used the bathroom, got our snacks, sat down. So we were like already in there, you know what I mean? Sometimes we don't even roll into the movie theaters until like the show has already started. But with Renaissance, I said, no, sweetie, I'm not missing not 1 second. Also, before we go further into the story, I forgot to address the big elephant in the room. I am so sorry. For the people who watch on YouTube, do you see my shirt? I don't even know if it's in the camera. I don't know if it's in the camera. But if it isn't, I'll make sure I put like a different clip of me showing it. But your girl has merch. A little bit, a lot, the podcast merch. This is a super comfortable long sleeve tee, custom embroidered moment. And I like super gagged. Like every time I see it in my closet, I'm just like, oh. Like it just makes it feel so much more real. Like, oh my God, like what? I just got the idea because I wanted to be able to have something that kind of just, like I said, made the whole podcast like feel like, you know, like it's coming to life. And I don't know, like, would you guys want to buy merch? I feel like I need to put a poll on this episode on Spotify and ask, would you guys want to, you know, buy merch, and put something on like Instagram or something to see, you know, how many people are interested, because I bought this just for me. Like I wanted to be able to just wear it so that way I can have something to wear, you know, that represents the show on the pod sometimes, and that I can, you know, wear in public to be able to promote the brand, to promote the show. But if you guys want me to sell it, would you guys be interested in buying it? So yes, like I'm gonna get different colors and stuff like that, but you know, I'm like a neutral girly, so of course I had like the dark charcoal gray, you know, with the custom embroidered moment, and I'm just like, oh my God, like it came out so good. And my boyfriend's like, oh my gosh, like you need to make me a hat or something so that way I can wear it too. So it's like, I'm going to continue to keep like pumping out more items for like my friends and family to wear. But I just don't know like if anyone would even care to buy it outside of that. So let me guys know in the comments below or on the poll that I'm going to put on Spotify, or DM me on Instagram, like I said, at A Little Bit of Loud Podcast, whatever, if you're interested. Like I meant to say that at the beginning of the episode. Like, are you serious? It just feels so legit. But yeah, anyway, so back to the story. We got in our seats, and like I just feel like I'm just so speechless. Like trying to even gather the words for how I feel about this experience. It's just insanity. Like, I just feel like I said, there were so many different details that I missed. Jumping forward to like the middle of the film, like I didn't even realize that Beyonce even had some of Britney Spears' Toxic in there. Did you, for the people who saw the film, did you notice that? When she's like, nah, 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 nah. What, like, I'm like, at my show, when I was in there screaming my head off, I didn't catch that. And I think that was like the best thing for me when it came to watching this film, because it was like so many little details that I'm just like, wait, I didn't see that. I didn't hear that. I mean, it's like, plus during the moment, you know, this was my very first time seeing Beyonce. because I had never been able to make it to any of her other tours, even though I've been a Beehive member since literally the beginning, since Destiny's Child era. So I was like extremely unwell. You know what I mean? Like, it was so hard for me to even stay focused because I was so excited and like literally jumping through the roof. So I feel like I kind of disassociated a lot during the moment when we were in the concert, like live action. So being able to get a replay to be like, oh yeah, this did happen, because I swear it was like my mind kind of just like blanked out. Like half of it I don't remember. And I knew that I didn't want to like keep watching a bunch of videos and stuff on TikTok. I wanted to wait until like we really got the film, because even before the film was announced, let's be real, like we already knew that we probably were going to get a film of some sorts, because we saw the cameras. Like we saw she was filming. So yeah, anyways, I have a couple notes written here in my handy dandy iPad that I want to go over, of some like highlights that I liked the most about it. And I would say that of course, I loved the like singing scenes. You know what I mean? Like being able to see Alien Superstar up close, being able to see Heated, you know what I mean? Like being able to also to be able to hear the like live version of the songs, like it better, and Dolby Atmos sound, you know, she's on the left, she's on the right, like ringing all up and through your ears was iconic, because in person, like it is kind of harder to hear, you know, all the little details when it comes to the live versions of it, because everybody's screaming and stuff, and then like you're screaming. So being able to hear that was amazing. But I think like the part that I was looking forward to the most though was the documentary side, because we know that like Queen Bee, you know, she's very careful with her words, and she's not going to talk a ton, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna give us crumbs, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna eat those up. Yeah. So I had my notes while we were watching the film, so that way I could absorb and really like take in everything and reflect like afterwards of like what I liked, because I just felt like it was going by so fast. And then I feel like one thing that was harder for me when it came to the documentary side was that she was putting so much into every little documentary moment, because that's what it was split up into. You got documentary moment and then concert, documentary moment, concert. So it's kind of like in that documentary moment, everybody on mute. Like I gotta really see what she has to say. And then there'd be like moments where while she's talking, you know, as she's talking, there's something playing in the background, and you see, you know, this video of her doing this, and she's like making different compilations of different things, and it's like going by so fast, and I almost wanted to just be like, pause, where's the remote? Like I'm trying to soak up every single little thing, but the way it was edited, like it was going by so fast. So I can't wait until this movie is on like streaming, so the way I can like really pause and like soak up like all the different moments, because then it's like even when she has like the compilations of like showing the kids, it's going by so fast, and it's like, no, I didn't even really get to see Sir's face. You know, I didn't even really get to like take in Rumi, because it was going by so quick. So that was like, what? But it's like, Mother's like, y'all gonna get what y'all gonna get. Sorry. But I think my favorite part at the top of the movie, of course, was when Beyonce says she's thankful for stretch marks and every fupa. Shout out to my fupa girlies. Like that just made me feel so seen and like so represented. Like you can call it fupa, you can call it muffin top, whatever you call it. Like, man. And first of all, it's like, what? Beyonce, like she's getting snatched, like the dude said, who what's his name, Kevin, the guy who's like the voice of the Renaissance tour, like I came to serve. He's like hugging her, and he's just like, oh, she's so small, she's so skinny, like like Beyonce, you are snatched to the gods, you don't have no dang fupa. But who knows, like maybe she did after she gave birth, you know what I mean? Or maybe she does, and she just wears like good Spanx. You never know. You know, I don't want to speculate too much. And at the end of the day, it's like none of my business to like analyze people's bodies. But I just thought that was really nice that she just said that, because it's like, girl, that is so important, to love all your stretch marks, to love on your fupa, to love on that muffin top. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fat and the cellulite is in, okay? Just in case you didn't know, 2024, Beyonce said it's in, so it's in, period. And another aspect of the movie that I really loved a lot was how much she focused on her attention to light. That was really interesting. Like, I always feel like the light detail in a show could sometimes be so overlooked, but the way that Beyonce views light just makes me view it different and makes me appreciate it, differently going forward when it comes to live shows now. Because, like, it is an important part. And then there's so many moments where she's like, you can't put blue lights on black girls, way back in the day when she said that. Like, she really understands how you can use that to your advantage to create, different moments in the show. So then after she said that, like, going forward and being able to, like, look at the lighting for the rest of the movie, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, it was really intricate and I could really appreciate that. So that was really cool. There was also another cute moment where, like, Blue talked about, her wanting her mom to rest. Oh my God, baby Blue. Like, it's just so sweet. It's just so cute. Like, I loved seeing Blue in this film. Like, I just feel like we all feel like proud internet aunties, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to her. Like, the young lady that she's growing to be and the lady that she's becoming is just so admirable. And it just shows that, like, her parents are just really teaching her well. She's really got a loving support system. It's just clear that her mother only speaks light and love into her daughter. And the little moments that we got with, like, Jay-Z, speaking love and, like, affirmation into Blue was so sweet. And the fact that she gives that back, to her parents was just so adorable. Like, somebody's got to say it. Like, let's be real. Like, the internet loves to joke and say, like, Blue is the manager. But at this point, I feel like this film just solidified that. Like, Blue really is the freaking manager, okay? Because she said, mother, you need to rest. Like, you're over here worried about, like, the fingers on the little blow up thing when you gotta go to bed, and then, like, Beyonce's just like, I know, but Blue, that's right. You better tell mother to go rest. Like, she already has enough to do. Like, give it up, girl. Also, bronchitis, that gagged me. Like, how dare Beyonce's lungs worked against her? Like, I don't even know. Like, it's just so strange to think about the fact that, like, celebrities are human. They get sick too. And she's going on this world tour, like, continuously getting sinus infections from the pyro and all the smoke, continuously getting bronchitis and singing the house down boots every stop. You would never even know. So I thought that was pretty iconic. The fact that we got to, like, look back into that and she was able to open up to us in that way and just be like, yeah, bronchitis is coming for you, girl. Like, seeing her have to, like, go through that, get, like, help from the doctor, having to go through physical therapy, like, that part, showing the humanity of it, where it's like, it really truly does take a toll on your body from the inside out, was gaggy. I'm like, oh my God, that's interesting. Another point that I really loved was when she talked about, someone was saying in the documentary, the film, about using her voice as an instrument. I thought that was really interesting, where they talked about, some people use brushes, there's so many different mediums of art, but I never thought about it that way, where it's like, that is art, you know what I mean? Like, music is art, but you can use instruments, bass, drums, but your voice, I don't know why I never thought about a voice being an instrument. But the way the queen can stack those vocals down like no other, yeah. Okay, it's a lethal instrument. Okay, you better watch out. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, her spilling the tea about her damaging her vocal cords as a kid. First of all, that made me so mad at the people that were in the studio with her. Why would you push a child? Like, the neglect is so blatant and so screwed up. Like, I couldn't believe it. Where was Mama Tina? She couldn't have been there that day. You know what I'm saying? You trust these people with your child to go in the studio so you can develop, a young performer so she can grow into be something great. And then they keep pushing her and pushing her and pushing her. Now she's got an injury to her vocal cords. Had to go on vocal rest for the entire summer. Went to Six Flags, riding on the roller coaster and couldn't even scream, couldn't even laugh. That's sick. Like, I wouldn't have even wanted to even go to the amusement park if I was going through that. Because that sounds rough. Like, geez Louise, that's traumatic. I mean, it literally is trauma. So the fact that she shared a little bit of that trauma was super interesting. And the fact that because she had those damaged vocal cords, that's how she's able to access her growl. That's very interesting. We all know that Beyonce can tap into that growl, that register, and it's beautiful, like no other. So, it's like you're kind of fortunate for the injury because she can access different things because of it. But at the same time, it's still really messed up. Like, I don't know. Maybe real Beehive members, that are even realer than me and even more dedicated than me, I already knew about that, but that was news to me. So, yeah. And then my last favorite part about the movie was just the Uncle Johnny segment and how fashion saved his life. We all know that Uncle Johnny was such a big, important influence on this entire era alone. You know what I mean? So it was just really interesting to hear about Beyonce's childhood. I never knew that she grew up on house music. Her and Solange voguing down in the basement, like being surrounded in house music and gay culture through Uncle Johnny at a young age was so interesting. And how, like she said, fashion quite literally saved his life, because if you didn't already see the film, Mama Tina, Beyonce's mom, talks about how her mom was a seamstress, and they kind of like really put a big point on how like fashion basically saved not only just Uncle Johnny's life, but the entire family. Because that's how, for generations, their family was able to make money, because they come from a line of seamstresses. So, Beyonce's mom's mom taught her and then taught Uncle Johnny. And, Mama Tina talked about how being in the 50s, down south and being gay, of course, is like an unsafe thing at the time. I mean, it's still unsafe, which is unfortunate. I always vouch for the protection and safety of my LGBTQ friends, the girlies and the gays. Like, it just sucks that even being in that category can put you in harm's way, and that you even have to come up with ways to like fend yourself. But, thank goodness that he did, because I thought it was really interesting how Mama Tina said that, her mom didn't really outright say it, but saying like, if you learn how to sew and you get into fashion, no one will want to hurt you, is pretty, a pretty good idea. Because then it's like, yeah, like you wouldn't want to attack the guy who's like making all the clothes, who's dressing everybody and stuff. If you become known for being like the local fashion designer, then that does kind of make you protected in that sense, because you're offering something. Which sucks. You should be able to just exist and not have to offer anything and still be able to feel safe and protected in your environment. So, that's sucky, but ultimately I thought that was pretty interesting. So, stressing the importance of fashion, it's not just some material thing. Like, it is a way of life for their family, and it's a way of survival, not just for the LGBT, but just the generations and the ancestry as it is with this family. So, that was pretty cool. And like learning more about like Uncle Johnny's designs and seeing Beyonce wearing the last dress that he made before he passed, them talking about how Uncle Johnny used to love to smoke weed. It was pretty funny. Like really getting to know more about him and seeing Mama Tina, get emotional about that, seeing Beyonce get emotional where she was saying she just wished that Uncle Johnny could see this, and Mama Tina was like, he is seeing it, he's smiling down, he's so proud of you. Seeing all the fans, wrapping Beyonce in that love and saying like, Uncle Johnny is so proud of you. Like, I just can only imagine how much that meant to her. And losing such an important part of your childhood in that way is just so devastating. And, that just makes me really sad for her. But in the end, she was able to create something so beautiful from that loss within this album and use it as a way of liberation and celebration. And for that, she ate. Like, that is so fierce. I love that so freaking much. So yes, like I really wish we would have gotten more Uncle Johnny clips. Like we only got a picture of obviously Uncle Johnny and Mama Tina at the end of the concert. And then there was one picture of Uncle Johnny and Beyonce. But I'm like, dang, like they didn't have any like home films of Uncle Johnny dancing around or something like that. Like did they really not have a lot of footage of him? Or did Beyonce kind of want to keep that close? Which either way, I respect, and I understand. But it would have been really, great to see. Like, did he end up having any, like, adoptive kids or anything like that? Like, I would have loved to hear more about that. But at the end of the day, like, it was still really, really great that she gave it that moment in the film that it needed, because, like, he is quite literally such a big inspiration for this. And just overall, it's like, I feel just the same way as Beyonce when it comes to being enamored with the, gay culture, because even though like I'm a straight female, I still love everything that the LGBTQ community has to offer. And it feels like a safe space for me because it represents like comfort, confidence, and just owning yourself. So it's like, how could you not be an ally? Like, that's why I just get so confused when people are homophobic, because it's just like, the gays aren't bothering anybody. Like, even if you don't swing that way, just like I don't, how does that really make a difference? Like, I feel like your choice and who you love is just as simple as what your favorite color is. But people are getting their lives taken because of that. Could you imagine if somebody was just like, man, I'm about to end you because you said your favorite color is purple? Like, I don't know. I just feel like I've always been an ally since day one. Like, because it's just like, it's just such a stupid thing to me to judge people off of that. Just as much as saying like, oh, this is my favorite cereal. Like, it's just one little detail that makes you you. So I don't get it. But yeah, so the fact that like Beyonce really, really showcased that, and like seeing all the different moments on the tour where she's dancing with the boys, you've got Darius up there, Honey Balenciaga. If you guys know anything about, the like ballroom, is it called the ballroom scene, and voguing and stuff, like Honey Balenciaga is that girl, sweetie. And so getting to be able to like hear more from her and talk about how like she even got the name Honey because she dances like honey, and being able to like see them have that moment of celebration on this tour, to be able to have that platform where Beyonce's like dancing with the girls and the gays was so cool to me. Like, oh my God, it was just like, and then her just being like, this is the mother of the House of Renaissance, was just like, oh my God, it was just so gaggy. And I was so sad because at my stop in Detroit, Honey Balenciaga didn't come. I forgot what happened. Either she was sick, but then people were trying to like rumor that she got jumped, which I don't think happened. But I thought she was going to come clacking down them steps. And we got Darius, which, I'm fine with, like, love Darius down, but I really wanted to see Honey Balenciaga. So yeah, like seeing her, celebrate that was just like so cool. And like the fact that, Blue is around all of that too is just super cool. Like that moment when Honey Balenciaga was like gassing up Blue after she finished performing and just being like, you ate that, girl. Like, she's just wrapped in so much, love and support. Oh, and speaking of Blue, like I loved how much, you know, they empowered Blue in this experience. Like it just sucks that her friends exposed her to those negative comments that she read about herself. But the fact that she used that as fuel to be like, okay, I'm gonna go harder, and this is giving me motivation to like keep, convincing my mom that I'm capable of doing more shows. Because I had no idea that Blue was only supposed to just do the one show with her mom. I thought it was like clear that she was just there to be like a summer job. But that was really interesting to find out. Like Blue was only supposed to do one show. But, once she saw that the girlies were talking about her, she said, I'll show you, and ate that on up. And then towards the end, like she was fierce. She was here to slay, and she ate down. So I respected that, and I appreciated that. Like, and it was just so cute, like being able to see Beyonce be a mother. You know what I mean? Like seeing her in that light is just so, I don't even know how, it warms my heart. Like it just feels like a warm hug, bro. Like, she's turning around and she's just like, okay, I let Blue perform with me. But then I turned around and I saw her face and I almost passed out. I was like, oh, like Beyonce's just a mother just like everybody else. Like at the end of the day, she's just a mom. You know what I mean? Like she's just a mom. So seeing your baby up there in front of all these people, and then she was like, I don't even know why I said yes. It made her feel so human. I was like, oh my God. Like, I know she immediately wanted to just be like, actually, wait, send Blue back down. Like, cancel it. Chop. It's a chop. But you're also on the fine line of like wanting, your daughter to be able to like spread her wings and come into herself. And, you don't want to hold her back. And I think that that's what I love so much about Beyonce is that even though she felt like Blue hadn't gone through, the hardships that she went through to make her prepare for this moment, she still, let her do what she had to do. Because some moms would have just been like, absolutely not, and like not even giving her the chance. But that just shows like Beyonce's, kindness and her heart and how much she trusts herself and she trusts her daughter and she trusts the team that she's built around her to take care of her daughter. So that I just loved it so much. So yeah, overall, I would just say that I really enjoyed the movie. I literally had a blast. Me and my sister were cutting it up in there. Our theater was not packed at all. Like, I'd say there was maybe like 10 other people in there. We were all like spaced out. So I saw a couple of people, dancing and stuff. But other than that, it was pretty quiet. So me and my sister were just like eating the girls up in our seats. I really wanted to get up and dance, but I thankfully managed to stay, in my seat, but I was still moving around so much because it was just hard to stay still, man. Like the whole entire experience was just lit, the whole 2.5 hours. So, I'm turned up. And then, of course, at the end, when we get the new Beyonce song, My House, then that's when I had to get up on out that seat. And me and my sister were dancing. And then there's like another girl in the theater and she started dancing and she's like, hey. Now we're just like having a little dance off, like hyping each other up. So that was really cute. I really enjoyed that. So yes, like overall, really loved it. I low-key want to see it again, but I just don't know if I could like sit for that long because at the end of the day, like it was a long film. I mean, it was long even when we went to the show in person. So I'm like, but I'm just hoping that she'll like release it on streaming and then I can like, watch it in the comfort of my own home and like take breaks and stuff. So yes, also, I just wanted to quickly point out the fact that Pink Friday 2 is coming, guys. Okay, I know this is about Nicki, but we're shifting gears. If Nicki changes the date again, I swear to God, I swear. I have been a barb since day one. Literally, MySpace. I'm like, oh, who's this lady? Who's this girl? Who's this lady with the bangs, the Chinese bangs? You know what I mean? Like, OG. Pink Friday literally got me through my high school experience. Like, sometimes I just quite literally be like, oh my God, like Nicki low-key saved my life. Like, she kept me sane on those depressing school bus rides when I like literally just wanted to jump off a cliff because I didn't want to go to school. Ooh. So I am super gagged about this. I can't wait till this album comes out. And you know what? One thing that I put in my notes was how, remember the other week, my favorite thing of the week was a Monica and Keisha Cole song, Trust. That's what I put. That my favorite thing of the week was Trust by Keisha Cole and Monica. Tell me why I get on Instagram live the other day, like this weekend, and I see that Nicki Minaj is on live with Keisha Cole and Monica. So at the end of the day, guys, like the universe is just like telling you that I'm onto something, because I would never lead you guys astray. Like, I'm trying to tell you that I have A1 taste. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact that I've still been rocking with Keisha Cole and Monica this whole time, and now Nicki is with them, potentially having something in the works. I couldn't listen to the live because it was like loud. I think I was in the car. So I don't know if they're going to have a collab coming out or soon, or if she was just hanging with them just to hang with them. But I'm just like, that is such a coinky dink that I said that I've been listening to Keisha Cole and Monica, and then the two of them show up on Nicki's live. Like, are you serious right now? So I'm just like super excited to see what's gonna come of this situation. Like, I really don't think that Pink Friday 2 is gonna let us down. But just like I did with Scarlet, I will make sure that I tell you guys what all of my favorites are on Pink Friday 2. So yeah, I've been really enjoying Zach Campbell because he's been doing Reactmas and going back and looking at old Nicki music videos like Your Love and Fly. And I'm just like, man, like, like Nicki has really given us production and cinematography when it comes to the music videos, the fashion, the wigs, the personas. Like, she's been through it all, and like, I truly feel like she deserves her flowers. So I'm just really hoping that the rest of this rollout goes well and that the tour is going to be fun, because I can't wait for that. So yes, that brings us to favorite thing of the week. Favorite thing of the week. Hey, favorite thing of the week. Ay. This week's favorite thing is Pink Pantheress. I don't know how familiar you guys are with her, but she has been killing the game. I love her aesthetic. I love her vibe. I love her music. And I feel like I really, of course, kind of like really got onto her with Boy's a Liar with Ice Spice. That boy's a liar. That boy's a liar. And I'm like, I had already liked her, but that kind of solidified it. So once Pink Pantheress, dropped her album, I'm just like, oh my God, of course I'm going to have to listen to it. And it's a bop. Like, I don't even know. I just feel like either she's for you or she's not. And for me, it's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it's kind of like almost like a hyper pop type of energy that she gives. And I don't know. Like, I just don't know what else to say. I don't even know really what to explain about it that I like about it, other than I just like it. That new song that she's got, Nice to Meet You, that's the favorite thing of the week. That specific song. Because even though I like the rest of the project, like pretty much a majority of the songs, Nice to Meet You, the lead single, I eat that down. Like, nice to meet you, my lips pouring like a waterfall. Like, what? She ate that up with that Jersey beat. If you guys haven't already watched the Nice to Meet You music video, you need to, because a part of it just makes me feel like, it makes me laugh because the guys are just like going so hard with the dancing. And you're like, yes, like, y'all better eat that up. And then you've got like Central C, who I love. I've always liked Central C. I feel like he's really cute. And, for a UK rapper, I feel like he can really rap. Like, I really like him. I know, he's not for everybody, but I like him. And I feel like he ate his verse up. Like, I woke up to my shorty crying, said, no, I'm not being unfaithful. Like, I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. They ate that. And then on top of that, the beat being by Cash Cobain. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Cash Cobain, but he's a really good producer. You know, his producer tag, and it's beat from Cash, not from YouTube. He's been taking over the game. I mean, he just produced a song on Drake's album. Like, he eats the girls down. So the fact that him and Pink Pantheress got together and made that fire beat and that fire song, then put Central C on it, was like, it's a wrap for y'all. So I ate that on up. That's been like my song nonstop on repeat. So yeah. I also need to make sure that I share my Spotify Wrapped with you guys. If you haven't already seen it, go ahead over to A Little Bit A Lot podcast. I'll share more about that next week. A Little Bit A Lot podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I share my Spotify Wrapped. Just want to say again, thank you guys so much for the, support. Actually, no, I'm not even going to talk about it next week. Let's just go into it real quick. Podcast rating was 5.0. I'm the number 1 podcast for 5 fans. I'm the top 5 podcast for 13 fans, and I'm a top 10 podcast for 15 fans. And the top episode of the year, of course, was Children of Divorce Are Automatically Baddies. And my number 1 country is the United States. Thank you guys again so much. I was not expecting a lot, like I said in my Instagram caption for that post. I was not expecting a lot from Spotify Wrapped this year, only because I've only been doing my podcast for 3 months. So I just didn't really think that I was already going to be in like people's top podcasts. But apparently y'all like me. So shout out to you. So yes. I really appreciate you guys being here. Love you so much. Again, let me know what you thought about the Renaissance film. Let me know what you think about the A Little Bit A Lot podcast merch. Are you guys interested in that? I don't know. But yes, thanks again. Love you. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.
I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby. I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on,